You have been served with a notice Saturday the 22nd of March, Legon City Car Park as a mall. You have to be there. Enjoy with us. 3FM 92.7 is bringing you the Gobe Festival. If you're a vendor, you're a sponsor, 053-1100927 and 053-2200927. Connect with us. Hajia Shamima Muslim works at the presidency. Assalam.
The last I came, where was I? I was unemployed there.
No, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Congratulations
Johnny,
to you.
Thank you.
I haven't seen you really this year.
No, we haven't. We haven't.
Congratulations.
There was a day I came on TV3, but I think you were still on air. So when I was done, I left.
Right.
But I wanted to come by again and say thank you to you and to your listeners. For giving us a lot of airtime in the lead up to the 2024 elections.
All glory belongs to God, mashallah.
And disseminate, and
I'm happy that,
we got a lot of support.
How is the work like, Hajia?
It's new, it's exciting, it's you wake up every day, with new things to look forward to.
Right.
I don't think it will be boring anytime soon.
Right.
I don't think so. The good, the bad, the ugly. But that's what makes, the work significant.
So now, this government, I go on the street a lot.
Yes.
And people are saying this government seems to be moving so fast.
Yes.
You're making it look like governance is a walk in the park. Is that what it really is?
Well, that is the reality. If you look at what we've been able to achieve over a 2-month period, you would come to the same conclusion. But in the same spurt, the expectations from perhaps maybe the grassroots and some others also feel that we are not moving fast enough, you know. So it's just finding the right balance, and you know that a lot of the work has to be the preparatory work to really build a solid structure. You need the foundational work to be done and to be done well. And it is true that in record time, His Excellency, put together his cabinet. Cabinet is working. Ministers are working. In record time, we've seen quite a lot of what do you call it? Appointments. Mind you, we are talking about thousands of appointments. So I would just also use this opportunity to call for calm within the rank and file of the party, to know that there are so many other opportunities available that is yet to be filled. We're moving at a very fast pace, and that is the truth of the matter. I mean, the people who sit in the office preparing the letters, they are working round the clock. They are working round the clock. And so let's exercise a bit more patience. Let's celebrate the wins. They've been quite great. And I think generally we are moving along with the majority of Ghanaians. They like what we are doing, and we're grateful for their support.
You are deputy spokesperson for the president of the Republic.
Yes, please.
How does he take all the pressure?
Do you see him look like he's pressured?
I don't know.
I'm like, if you look at the image, I think he's been on this path for so long that he takes everything in his stride, knowing that he's doing the best he can within the circumstances that he has. And he has good intentions, he has a good heart. Sometimes when those things are sorted, there's some grace that, descends on you, and you're able to move even through the most deadliest of storms. You're able to move through. So you would never see a look of distress on the face of His Excellency, not even when you're discussing distressful situations. I think that it's something you build over time, and it's something that is helped when you have the right mindset for what you're doing, and you know that you're doing the right thing, and your heart is in a good place. So he has a lot of grace around him, and I think it's sufficient for him, and it continues to help him wade through the storm.
For you women who are now at the helm of affairs in different strategic positions, people have criticized, she's a woman, she can't stand the pressure and all of that. And what do you have to say?
Well, they should bring it on. They should bring it on. If you follow, I am a bit in the eye of the storm.
I know, right?
I was in the campaign period, and they still haven't left me alone. Yeah, even though personally, as you have known me, I would never engage in the politics of insults or disrespect.
That's right.
I don't engage. As much as possible, I try to stick to the issues and to speak to my convictions and to try to get my followers, my viewers, and the people who follow me to at least come along with me, even if they don't agree with my positions, right? So this is the kind of politician I want to be, and I hope that I don't deviate from it, even in the face of some stern provocation sometimes. Does it mean that you make yourself a walk in the park? Certainly not. You will have to push back against some of the viciousness that comes your way.
That's right.
And you have to exercise your power to also vet your page and not allow any negative energy around you.
That's right.
There are some people who have given 3, 4, 5 chances to reform and come back on the side of civil discourse. They prove themselves intransigent. I block them. I think that people, no matter the fact that you're in public office, must have the right to protect their mental space and to allow to decide who to allow to continue to engage. If the person is bringing nothing of value, there are critics who come to your page and come up with things that are worth thinking about, and you stand to learn something from engaging in those people. So for the women in public life, it's never going to be easy. We are always the lowest hanging fruits for attack by cowards who cannot deal with their own male colleagues. In matters that involve males and females, you would find that the female would be disproportionately attacked in very vicious ways than they would even disagree, even if they disagree, strongly with the male counterpart. This is the reality. We must wake up quickly to and to build ourselves very strong to withstand, those arrows, because they will come. They will come. There's never respite. There's never respite. You're under constant critical scrutiny. People, your detractors, I won't say people, your very few detractors are, on the lookout. Sometimes they are also the loud ones. But, I have more support from many more people. So sometimes I draw on that strength, and I know that so many people are rooting for you. They're praying for you. They're sending you, words of encouragement. Those are the people that matter. And you should always look at that community of support you have to also weather your own battles. Because, hey, we are in a battle, and there's no battle without scars. We will have those scars. We just need a strong, family support, community support of friends to be able to continue to do what we have been called to do.
I know that you inspire a lot of young women and men alone.
Apparently.
But I am focusing on the women.
Yes.
Because I think, honestly, that a lot of women have been marginalized because our system doesn't really give them a chance and to survive and thrive. For the young woman listening to you today, who sees Shamima, the interviewer, the journalist, Shamima, the advocate, gender activist, now Shamima at the presidency, what do you have to say to them to encourage them to rise up to the occasion if they have it?
It's a profound story. There was a descriptor I used for myself a couple of days ago. I came across a very old picture. I must have been 8 or so years, and I was squatting in front of some grandmothers of mine, including my maternal grandmother, Hajia Alima. Hajia Alima had never, it's on Facebook, it's got quite a lot of discussion. I'm even emotive reflecting on that story again. She's never seen the four corners of a classroom. Neither did my paternal grandma see the four corners of the classroom. My mother is the first generation of the woman in her family, both maternal and paternal, to have pursued education and become a teacher. So I'm just second generation to have had education, and first generation to have had a university education in my family as a female. I have come too far to be distracted by people who are within the fringe elements. I'm too blessed, You know, who would have imagined? I mean, Alima Mohammed's, Alima Wale's daughter, today deputy spokesperson. You know, it's a very humbling journey.
That's
what I tell people, that it does not matter your background. What matters is that if you have opportunities today, use those opportunities to the best of your ability. If you're a first, second generation at whatever in education, breaking glass ceilings and breaking generational holdbacks, you know that you have a burden and on you, and that burden is also your blessing.
That's right.
Right? That burden. So I was reflecting on a book I want to write, and I was like, you know, the burden of community. You know, when ancestral legacy chooses you, you can't but, you know, represent and ensure that the various communities that align with you, that resonate with you, would be represented, you know, as much as you can, so that you can, by your own evolving story, give life to more stories to emerge. So I tell them, build your internal confidence. You don't have to go into everything you do fully confident about the outcome. What you just need to know is to have a deep self-belief that you're on the right course. You're on a course that is most likely going to lead you to chart your own history, your own first, your own breakthroughs. So do not stand and listen to all distractions that come your way. Pick the best from them, but keep your eyes focused on the prize. And the prize is that you can become the best at whatever you plan to do, and life would work out generally. Whatever the challenges are, it always has a way of working out for your good.
The public expects so much from you. We know that the economy is not in good shape.
Yes,
you have
true.
Told us, but the public expects so much. They say we fix it, we are elected to fix it and to solve the problem and not to lament and complain, etc. What do you have to say?
Our approach, as I see it, constant accountability and transparency. Because even as the public expects solutions, the public is not an unreasonable group of people. I think that the more we engage, the more we remain transparent and accountable to the things we've been able to do, to those we are doing, to those we are unable to do as yet, we must communicate. Will everybody agree? No. But there will be evidence of a trail of, there will be a trail of evidence that shows the journey we are going on. And that's why I like the approach of participatory, the participatory approach many of our ministers are taking in engaging key stakeholders, which is very important at the onset of any administration, at the onset of any policy implementation. We must get the buy-in. So, for example, if you look at the Gold Board,
Sammy
Gyamfi, PPMC, he's going to every corner. He's meeting everybody who, who matters, who has something to share. People who are the heartbeat of that industry, without whom your policy or your proposed Gold Board would not work. And so the draft legislation is going through a lot of winnowing in the public domain, which is essential before it finds itself in Parliament. That is important. Yesterday, the Energy Minister, John Jinapo, was seen engaging key CSOs within the energy, sector. Very critical, because the problems we face in the energy sector are not problems that will be resolved within a day.
That's correct.
And already people are concerned about the power outages in some areas. They need solutions, right? They don't need excuses.
That's correct.
But those solutions must be communicated to them so they understand that the solution must come in a process. The solutions are not a day, it's not a day solution. We don't get up and then, if there are outages that are localized faults, those can be redeemed. But the bigger problem with generation and financing are things we require the CSOs to participate in. Because the CSOs have their own stakeholders that when they tell them the picture, they are most likely to believe them than if we are the one explaining. So we need CSOs on board to understand what we are doing, to agree that the options we have chosen to adopt are the most viable option given the current situation, so that we can ferry ourselves out of the rut we find ourselves. For example, the gas, we need a second processing gas plant. We cannot be flaring gas from our rigs, when all we need is infrastructure. Because if you look at the amount of money we use to import crude and finished products, you would see that it was just an avenue to enrich a few people, because it would not make economic sense for you to be expending such millions of dollars annually in procuring crude from other countries when you could just use the same amount of money to set up a plant. You see, so as an NDC party, we believe in building the infrastructure that sustains the local economy, and we need to communicate all of these things. Emilia Arthur, the fisheries minister, watch her page. Very proactive. She's visiting fishing communities. She's working with development partners. She's taking them to the field. She's communing with the fishermen. She needs to get a deep understanding of the industry from those who are the frontline, workers within that industry. It's the same across board. If you look at all the ministries, the ministers' agencies, the brief is the same. Quickly immerse yourself into your entity, your ministry, your department, understand the workings very quickly, and ensure you get the necessary buy-ins before the rollout of our major programs. And if you listen to our budget, it all puts it together. A budget of a people where we share.
The minority says your budget is hopeless.
Well, what else would the minority say?
I don't know.
Other than that. That's what they would say, because it is their administration that is largely under audits and under judgment. And they are running away from the accountability. They're not going to agree that what we say is the state of the economy is what the state of the economy is. But I'm happy that Ghanaians agree, because Ghanaians felt that state of the economy. They saw the intransigence, they saw the arrogance in power, they saw all of the ills of the previous administration, and they decided to vote them out. So we must not lose the people. That's what I'm saying. Let the minority say, let them rant, let them do whatever they want to do to distract us, but we must ensure that they don't distract us from hearing what the people have to say. And once we are responding to the people, I am happy. Once we are carrying the people along, I am happy. Once the people understand and are able to decipher between vicious propaganda, deliberate disinformation meant to distract them from their forward research march with His Excellency the President, then they would learn their lesson soon enough. They still haven't quite learned the lesson that the people of Ghana, they're still quite insulting the big gap. They're still quite insulting of the intelligence of Ghana. Was it not a very, very large gap?
Oh, please.
It was a very big gap.
Why did your
1.7 million? God.
Why did your government invade the home of former governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Addison? Why?
So this morning I was asked about that, and I am here to get a full briefing on the circumstances, behind that. I don't call it raid. I don't think it's raid. I think that a government with in institutions with a mandate to investigate matters have a raft of options they usually deploy in the execution of that mandate. And I think the national security knows what options they deploy at every point in time. And it is a very serious institution. It's a very serious institution. I don't want to believe that they will, without any just cause, exercise an option that will bring disrepute to their name or to the work that they want to do. There ought to be some real good reasons why the approach that is adopted is being adopted. It is an approach that is inclusive of their toolbox, and they know what outcomes they want from deploying various approaches in their investigative work. And it's like the police people, those who investigators, when the police arrest you, good cop, bad cop, they will put you in a room, you know, all of that. They have a various security agencies have their modus operandi. And what I would say as a key spokesperson to the president is that in everything that these institutions do, let's allow human dignity to lead us. Even, you know, criminals that are found guilty do reserve some rights to their human dignity. And so at all times, let's uphold the rights of individuals, whether they are under investigation or they're going through any legal process.
Haja, I thank you for spending your breakfast with us.
1 minute to speak about this issue. So I'm on a course to help educate the public on the workings of government, as well as
so if you watch,
yes,
lean government with big budget.
I am going to push back against what we have picked is information from the camp of the minority to deliberately disinform the general populace.
Are you a big government, a small government with big budget?
Well, as you have seen from the explanations from the Honorable Felix Kwachi Ofusu, it is a palpable falsehood meant to disinform. And so let me just use this, your platform, to again tell your viewers that media literacy is very important as you consume news, especially in this era of social media, of AI, where the fake news industry is booming. So you must understand what these terms mean. They mean different things. Fake news means differently from misinformation and disinformation. Now, if you take fake news, as the name suggests, is a completely fabricated story that has no basis in fact, that is meant to achieve a certain business or political end. So you would see that some people can put Johnny's face on a product and say that Johnny has said something bad about this product so that they cost the business of that product. It is completely fake. Johnny has not said anything about that product, and it is malicious. The intent behind fake news is malicious and is also to benefit from something that you ought not to be benefiting from. Now, when you come to misinformation, it's rather about incorrect or inaccurate information. The information is false, but the people who share it do not share it. They share it out of ignorance, or who created. They've heard that, this tablet can let you go 9 rounds. Excuse my word. So they believe it and they share it because the person who's producing those products, that is his marketing to exaggerate the potency of that fabric. Drug. So you see a lot of misinformation comes from social issues. Slim tea can do this. Those kinds of things are, misinformation. Now you can be misinformed about, you can be disinformed to also now share misinformation. So let me come to what disinformation means. But before that, usually misinformation will be spread through social media, which is really the primary channel for spreading misinformation. Social media is word of mouth. Hey, did you hear that this thing has happened? Or they say this has happened, this cures that. Breast cancer can be cured from this pastor is now curing, all kind of that. But disinformation is the most vicious of the three, in fact, of the three elements, because this one is false information with intent, and that intent is often malicious. So your political opponents would sit around a room and decide that they are going to use local media to propagate disinformation. It's not even propaganda. Propaganda has a certain value
and deal with
you. So, for example, a former Minister of Information in the person of Kojo Opoy Nkrumah, or a former staffer at the office of the former Vice President, Dr. Gideon Boakum, can actually sit and hold a press conference and in it allege. They don't even allege. They state for a fact that Felix Kwachi Ofusu and Shamima Muslim have been giving 78 million Ghana cedis to do government communication.
Why are you going far? The former Minister for Finance told us that we didn't deduct betting tax. That was disinformation.
He said that what?
We didn't take betting tax. That was disinformation.
That's not disinformation.
That's what?
That can be misinformation.
No, it's disinformation.
That can be corrected.
He said it on purpose. That when he knew we had taken the tax.
They're taking betting. Okay, you mean the former? Sorry,
Finance
I thought you were
minister.
referring to, yes.
No, former
yes, that
finance
was
minister.
disinformation.
Yes,
that was disinformation.
He was deliberate. He had the press conference.
Yes,
he was insisting
to hold it. So you use formalized channels to deliberately, and it especially would come from people who know the truth, because the information minister knows that the GNA that was under the former information ministry, the GBC, the information services department that were under his own ministry are no longer there. But these ministries together, these agencies together have over 2,500 staff whose salaries have to be paid, whose goods and services budgets have to be accounted for, and whose capital expenditure needs to be given. Kojo Opon knows this and knows that when we explain that government communication is now representing the former Ministry of Information, he should then know that it has been now subsumed under the Office of Government Machinery, which is different from the office of the president. But they also create an impression that it is. So please, this information is malicious. It is mostly spread by political opponents or people or big business with malicious intent to deceive the general public in order to court disaffection for the person they are spreading disinformation about.
Thank you very much, Hajia.
And thank you more.
Shamima Muslim, she's a deputy spokesperson
for
the presidency. Hey.
Visit us soon. Yes, please.
I should come to the presidency.
Please come to the presidency.
They say we should come to the presidency.
Yes. Please
we don't have ID card though.
No, you please come. Come to the security. I'll clear you.
6-2. You have an ID card. They say we should come to the presidency.
I'll be waiting to receive a delegation from you guys.
DJ IBM and 6-2 will come in there. You won't find me.
You will come.
Liar, liar.
No, like I know, the man is watching you. Tell me.